Hi, and welcome to the Thriving and Surviving podcast. I'm your host, Amanda Markson, and I'm a mum, a wife, an entrepreneur, a coach, and most importantly, I'm someone that loves to make waves, break stigmas, and challenge beliefs. Think of this podcast as a wine and cheese night with your besties, sharing your deepest and darkest thoughts and struggles, but also learning a thing or two. So whether you're thriving or just surviving, this podcast is here to enlighten you, heighten you, and most certainly brighten you. So let's dive right in, and I'm so glad you're here.
So welcome to, I think this might be episode 5, of the Thriving and Surviving podcast season 4. So I'm here with Mallory. She is going to talk about some really interesting things around relationships and neuroscience, but we are going to start with how we know each other because it is actually a really good story. And so we actually haven't spoken, I suppose, about each other's version of this story. So I will start. So our commonality, I suppose, is we were both seeing Tommy at the same time when Tommy and I first started dating. So this is going back about a decade now.
Oh, at least, yeah.
And how we first met was, so it was actually the first time Tommy and I had slept together.
Okay, good. That makes sense.
Yeah, first time we slept together. And he had messaged me at work and said, I've just fallen off a deck. I'm in hospital. Can you pick me up from hospital? Yeah, when you finish work. Mm-hmm. And I was like, okay. So I went and picked him up from hospital. We slept together that night. And then as we'd had a shower and we could hear this girl's voice in the house, and he lived with his brother at that point. And we thought it was his brother's girlfriend. And then he's opened the door and then Mallory was there, quite angry and upset. And I still remember his face where he's looked at you and he's looked at me, and it was like panic.
Oh, yeah.
And then because you were so upset, my first thought was, I'm like, oh my God, this guy has a girlfriend and I'm this other woman and he has lied to me. And he's looked at me and then he's just closed the bathroom door and closed me in the bathroom, and I'm naked in a towel.
Yep.
And I was just standing there like, what the fuck has just happened?
Mm-hmm. So how long were you seeing him for before that night?
Before that, it wouldn't have been that long. Like
a couple of weeks?
I think so. Like my memory is terrible, but I feel like it probably would have only been, that was our like third date, so to speak. So I feel like it only would have been like a couple of weeks, maybe a month, maybe.
Had you slept over his house by that point?
No.
Because I'd literally been sleeping at his house the nights before that.
Oh my God, he is terrible. And I quizzed him after, so it got better. So like I heard you guys obviously like back and forthing, and I remember you were yelling at him, calling him a bikie or something, and I was like, oh, I wonder if he is a bikie.
Okay, that Friday, I'll go back. So we met on Tinder.
Oh yeah, so did we. I think
On Tinder, and at the time I was working at Bunnings as an activities organizer.
I knew that too because he kept going into Bunnings, and he's like, I kept going and seeing her. I'm like, you can't complain about it if you're going to keep visiting. Like it's a bit.
He literally would come and help me build things.
Yeah, there you go.
I had a family night where I had to like build an arch and put balloons all over it. And he goes, oh, can I come and build it for you? And he literally came to Bunnings and spent like 3 hours building something for me.
He definitely used to pitch it like, oh, she needed my help. So like I would help. And I was like, oh yeah, no worries.
Oh, that's funny. And then I remember he picked me up on his bike for our first date. And we went riding around, and then we went back to his house in Logan.
Yes.
And we were drinking rum or something, listening to Evanescence, and he asked me to dance, and we got up and we were slow dancing and kissing, and I was thinking, wow, this is really nice. This guy's really sweet, you know?
Yeah, he definitely wasn't like a sleep on the first date kind of thing, like, which like I was like, I can respect that, like, that you're getting to know people like a little bit first, like that's fine. Because I was seeing other people at the time, so I didn't care that he was, because I was too. So I was like, that's cool. Like I didn't mind. So when I found it out, like I was honestly more entertained than anything Because I was like, it's so nice for the drama not to be on my end. Like, this is like,
know, right?
So I was like, oh, and then I heard you guys fighting. And then, like, he obviously took you down, I think paid for a cab.
Yep.
And while you guys were out the front, he's pocket dialed me.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So I was sitting inside because by that point I was like, oh my God, I need to leave. But because we'd been drinking, I was like, I can't drive. And you guys were out standing right near my car.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my God, I can't even like sneak out of this situation. So I was like, well, I'm just going to get dressed seeing as I'm naked.
Yeah.
So I got dressed and I was just sitting on his bed being like, I don't know what to do here. And that's when the phone rang and I was like, answered it. And he didn't realize he'd called me and he'd pocket dialed me. So I was listening to you guys out on the street. And I could only hear like bits and pieces. And then I was just like, what the fuck is happening? And then he finally came upstairs and I was like, okay. And he's like, I can explain. And I was like, well, you pocket dialed me then. And he's like, what did you hear? And I was like, how about you start from the beginning and I'll tell you what I heard and what I didn't. And he was like, oh, okay. And he's like, oh, it's this other chick that I've been seeing. And I told her that I'd hurt myself as well. And then she'd called and I just hadn't answered any of her phone calls. And I was like, well, that's kind of rude. Like, you kind of should have let people know. Otherwise, she's obviously worried that you've hurt yourself, which is probably why she came to see if you're okay. Not quite?
So I stayed at his house, I think it was maybe the Tuesday or Wednesday before that Friday.
Was it a Friday? I was going to kind of remember.
Yeah, I remember it was a Friday.
Yeah, right.
And he told me he's hurt his hand, so he asked me to come over to his house to help him polish his Harley.
Oh, that's what he said. He's like, I messaged both of you and you replied first.
Oh, that's
and I was like, I am pretty prompt with my texting. But I was like, oh, okay, like fair.
I literally was at his house all day Friday, babe.
Oh, God, that's
I was there polishing his fucking Harley.
He literally painted you like you were crazy and upset, like it was like a whole thing. And I was just like, okay. I was like, well, I feel like if you didn't get back to her and you've got all of these missed calls, like I'm not that surprised by this situation unfolding. Because he said you were super drunk and you'd come from a work Christmas party or something.
I was drunk, yes.
Yeah, okay.
So he asked me to stay on Friday night, but I had plans. I was going out with my girlfriends. And so I remember I was trying to leave and he was like, no, don't go out with your friends. Stay with me. My hand's sore. And I said, no, I'm going out with my girlfriends. So we went to the good old stock exchange. And then at about 1 a.m., I was like, oh, I feel bad for, I wish I stayed with him and all this stuff. So
I'll go surprise him.
And that's it. Because we hadn't slept together.
He was surprised.
We never slept together, ever. And we never had sex. We didn't. And then literally...
For what it's worth, he said you give great head jobs.
Excellent. Well, that didn't do that.
I was just like, okay, cool.
Why would someone
I don't know. Like, to be fair, in some scenarios, like, he was quite honest for things. Because I was like, I probably asked him if he'd slept. I probably would have asked him if he'd slept with you. And I feel like he probably said no, because it doesn't ring a bell that he did. No,
we didn't. But
where I think I don't even know if I believed him at the time. I was kind of like taking things at a grain of salt, like at that point, because I was like, if you are, I don't mind, because I'm literally seeing other people as well. Like, this is very new until we have like an exclusive conversation. Like, I don't even think we were exclusive when I first moved in there, to be honest.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because I only moved in there because my ex-partner needed me to take our dog. Mm-hmm. And I didn't have anywhere approved to live with a dog. And the girlfriend I was supposed to be living with had like a miniature Pomeranian. And I had this giant pit bull.
Oh, wow.
And so I was like, Christ, like I need to. And he's like, just move into my house. I'm approved for pets. I was like, I don't know you though. And he's like, oh, well, if it doesn't work out, you're in the same situation you're in now, like looking for somewhere. And I was like, and then I moved in and then I didn't even end up having to take the dog. And I was like, Christ, now I'm living with this random guy off Tinder. So that was how that came about. Like, it was
how it happens.
It was weird.
But isn't it funny that his brother let me in?
Oh, and he said that because then he got up his brother and he's like, why would you let a random girl? And he's like, I didn't know you had another girl in the bathroom. And I'm like, this is not his fault.
And especially because I've been talking to his brother all day.
Yeah.
Like,
he thought we were like the same person, and he thought that you got locked outside and you were already in the house.
That is so funny.
And I'm just like, poor thing, he's probably like,
yeah,
I don't know what's happening with you and your women.
But this is the funniest part. When he paid for the cab for me to go back to mine, I said, what's going on? And he's told me that he's been seeing you and I the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
And he's been trying to choose
there you go,
which one he wants to be with. And I was always moving to London at the end of that year. So
like, I knew you were singing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said you were a singer.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I had tickets to move. I was moving in September. and he was like, you're moving, so there's no point in getting in a relationship. And I was like, so you choose her? And he's like, yeah, I choose her.
Yeah, there you go.
And I was
by like weird default.
Oh no, that sounds horrible. It's
No,
not
no.
because of that. But
I mean,
he also said because you guys slept together, and that was the first time that you and him slept together, and he felt that he wanted to progress with you that night.
There you go. He was also pretty high on painkillers.
Oh God.
So like, it was a whole thing.
Yeah. But it really crushed me. Hey, like,
yeah.
I don't know why. I think that I had this silly idea of love. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Okay.
And like the whole picking me up on the bike and like dancing with me to my favorite songs, and I kind of got lulled into that.
I mean, I don't know if you're similar to me, and this is going to sound a little bit narcissistic, but like I'm not used to rejection. Mm-hmm. So like for me, because it doesn't happen often, I feel like when it does, I really like reel from it, where I'm like, but why? Particularly if I feel like I didn't get enough closure from the experience as well.
Yep.
Because I know he'd said to me, in that first year, I think it was in the first year at some point, like you'd reached out randomly. Oh my God, we need to come back to something. But when you'd reached out once and he's like, oh, I'm just not going to message her back. And I was like, you need to though. And he's like, oh, you can just message her. I'm like, absolutely not. Like if you want to, if I message her, that honestly sends the message, one, that like you're still interested and I'm being this like...
Yeah, jealous girlfriend.
Where I'm like trying to break it up. I'm like, if you, like this is all you, like how you navigate this dynamic, like you need to navigate this dynamic. But I'm like, I really think you should reply because...
What did I say? I can't even remember.
Okay, oh my God, you need to, because you said something like, are you still dating that chick that looks like a Pokemon?
As if.
You did? Because... No offense. I had this, like then me and my friends literally spent a very long time guessing, and they were roasting me about which Pokemon I looked like from it. And I'm going to be so sad if you don't remember.
Oh my goodness. I can't even remember. And I would tell you the honest to God truth.
Damn it. I was going to say like,
Pokemon. See it? Did you see this message, or did Tommy just tell you about it?
Oh, I can't remember. I know there was some that I can't remember what's in it. I know there was one that I did read where I was like, you need to reply to her. Like, this isn't my place to reply. Like, how you navigate this is up to you. But I'm like, I think you should reply, because either way she hasn't got closure. Otherwise she wouldn't be messaging. So this needs to come from you. Like, I'm not getting involved in this.
Yeah.
God, but the Pokemon one, so like some of my friends, when I was like, you were never going to guess who is coming on Thursday. And they're like, stop it. Will you find out what Pokemon? I'm like, I will ask, and I hope she remembers. Because they thought it was Jinx. And I was like, I'll take it. Like, it could be worse.
Shit, that is a horrible thing to say.
I was not even offended. Like, it's very hard to offend me, honestly. At the time, I was like, and that's the conversation him and I had. I'm like, you need to reply and ask her what Pokemon. And he's like, I'm not going to do that. I'm like, I'm so curious though.
Oh my God. I wish that like I didn't delete things. Like I wish I could go back and see like, what did I message?
Oh, it would have been hilarious. But yeah, I honestly can't remember. And I can't even remember whether whether he ended up replying or not. But I told him he should. But
was it in the same year?
I think it was in that first year. It was like later on, because I'm pretty sure it was before his accident. So it would have been, I'm pretty sure it was in that first year.
Okay.
It might have been at maybe around the year mark, I think.
Gosh, I really can't remember sending any text, but look.
No, it was on Instagram, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure it was an Instagram message from memory. Like, my memory is not flash, but like, I'm pretty sure it was Instagram. Yeah. Oh my God, I've got something else funny to tell you.
Yeah.
I put box braids through my hair.
And
he goes, oh, because he said something where he's like, I'm going to tell you something and I don't know how you're going to feel about it. I'm like, what? And he's like, Mallory has box braids as well. And I was like, shut the front door. I'm like, does she really? And I was like, I wonder if she had them first and she's going to think I copied. And I was like, how do you even know that? And he's like, oh, weird. I still have her on Instagram. And I was like, oh, okay. And I think I went back and I was like, fuck, she had them first. She sees mine. Yeah. I was like, she's probably going to think I've copied her hair.
But it's so funny the things that we think, right?
Oh, I know.
That is not something a guy would have ever
clocked.
Yeah. No.
But and that's the other thing he said to me. He's like, you guys are really similar. You both have a sternum tattoo. And I was like, that does not really make us similar people. Lo and behold, we actually kind of are similar. But like at the time, I was like, there's more to people than the tattoos.
I know. But even just the fact that, over the last 10 years, like I have looked at you and I've been like, what has she got that I don't got? You know what I mean? Like you have that silly like envy of people that you don't know. And as you touched on before, it's that, you know, when you get rejected, it's like, why? And you don't have that closure as to why. Why wasn't I picked?
Like I wish guys or girls, whoever you're dating, would just be like, hey, there was X, Y, Z that I didn't particularly like about you. And I'd be like,
thanks for the constructive criticism.
Not just like nothing, where I'm like, what was it? Like because it's okay. I know that not everyone is for everyone, but like me personally, I would like to know what it is, because if it's something where I'm like, oh, actually, like that's actually a good point. Like I could actually do better in that space. Like I would like to know.
I do like it when people have the confidence to be able to say, like, Mallory, if you changed the way you say this, it wouldn't come across as passive aggressive. Like that's one thing that I've been told in my life.
Oh, that you can be passive aggressive. Mine's condescending. Apparently, I can be quite condescending. Is feedback that good old Thomas has given me.
Oh gosh. And I think that's the thing with any strong woman as well. If we say how we feel, or if we say no, then stop patronizing me. Or because I study psychology, it's always stop psychoanalyzing me.
Well, because I have the law degree, it was don't argue with me like a lawyer. I'm like, I can't help it.
Yep.
I've already rehearsed this in my head, and I already came to the table thinking of everything you're possibly going to say with my rebuttal ready to go.
And, you know, and I think that is, some men are intimidated by smart girls.
Yeah, look. It's, oh, God. That is so wild, though.
Oh,
and it's funny that we've still ended up somehow like in the same situation, because you've obviously gone on, met someone, also had children, also ended up single mum. So it's like you dodged this bullet, but you scored another one. Like, here we are.
Absolutely. And that's another thing that I was reflecting on with you and I is, you know, there must have been a type that, let's just use Tommy, for example, because we as women have types, but men must have types as well. Yeah. And, you know, there must have been something that you and I had that was both the same for that.
Did you have your shit together to an extent?
No.
Oh, see, I did though. I don't know. Oh, to be fair, I was pretty damaged at the time. I was coming from like a DV relationship. So like where I was at was like broken AF.
Yep.
So like, and that's something that we actually navigated when we were together, is like once I wasn't anymore, he's like, it's hard being with you because I can tell you don't need me. And that makes me insecure because I'm like, where do I fit in if you don't need me? And I'm like, don't you think that's better? I don't need you. I'm choosing you. Like,
oh my God, the words from my mouth.
Yeah. Like, I'm like, that should feel better for you. Like, you're not here because I need you financially. I don't need you emotionally. I'm here because I want you.
Yep.
As opposed to this dependency, but they have this security in the dependency being like, well, they're not going to leave me because they need me.
Yep. And that's the big thing as well, is when we go out with different guys as well, that they bring different things to the table. And my ex-husband, beautiful man, a man that I would have never have gone for, that I met on a little island in England.
Oh, wow.
And the most amazing romance.
Yeah, I love that.
But we just grew apart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And as you were touching before with when you don't need someone, at that time in my life, I needed my ex-husband because I was living overseas. I was broke. I had no friends. And then my first friend said, I think you and my brother would be hot together. And I was like, no, thank you. And then he came into work and I was blown away, shook my hand. And it was just like that lame little love at first sight thing.
That's cute.
We got married on our 1-year anniversary.
Wow.
Wild.
That is quite the romance.
Yeah. He moved to Australia from England for me. And then a year later, we had our beautiful daughter. But I put on a lot of weight when I was pregnant.
I did scroll all the way back through, pretty much like all the way back through. And I was just like, oh, like you've had similar, like it's like I've put on a heap of pregnancy and you go to postpartum and then like refining yourself again and like getting back to a point where you like feel good in your body again. And
I did this little social experiment, which still kills me today. I used to go to South Bank. There's this pool there, the lagoon.
Oh, yeah, yep.
And when I was like 25, you know, I would go to the gym. I was fit. I felt good. I was Mallory Vanetti, my musical ego. And I would notice people looking at me when I walk. Maybe someone would turn their head and it made me feel confident.
Yeah.
Being 125 kilos, doing that exact same thing, I was a ghost. I looked around and not one person made eye contact with me. Not one person even looked my way. And it was just really confronting to see just how you look.
Like what pretty privilege actually, like, yeah, it's a thing.
100%.
Yeah.
And I kind of thought like, holy crap, like that's fucked up, you know?
Yeah.
It's fucked up. So when I had weight loss surgery, I had a gastric sleeve.
Oh, yeah, nice.
And because I couldn't lose the weight, like every time I even walked, I was in pain. And I had a 1-year-old at the same time.
It's one of those things, like, I don't think people realize, like, the bigger you are, the harder it is.
Oh, my God,
Like, it was actually really, like, I'm going to say I enjoyed the experience, but it was a educational experience for me, being able to be in my client's position a bit more, being bigger. Like, it's 100%. Easy to just be like, yeah, like, do this, do that, fit, healthy, when you've always been fit and healthy.
Yes.
But coming from the other end, I was like, shit, like, this is actually harder. So much harder. When I was pregnant, I had to hold my breath to even reach my feet.
Yes.
Like, it was where I was like, okay, like, this is quite humbling. Like, the way that I approach this with my clients, like, it's not as easy as what it normally is when you're already relatively fit and healthy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that even just those little simple milestones of being able to tie your shoes or like sit like this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like those things you take for granted. So after the surgery, I lost weight very quickly, but it wasn't a magic pill. I had to definitely work hard with a psychologist, dietitian. Yeah. And as the weight dropped off, my husband and I drifted apart. I started studying at university. I lost the weight. I started to feel more comfortable in my skin. Yeah. He met me when I was overweight. So he never met me as the fit, confident woman. So we just drifted apart, unfortunately. And then I soon after got into a relationship with someone that I normally would go for before I moved overseas. Yeah. Yeah. And that's taught me a lot about what I do and do not stand for anymore.
That's really, and like one thing I will give Tommy on this though, is he played a really, really positive part in my postpartum. Like, I feel like the reason why not the only reason, but a big part is why even when I was at my biggest, I was still so confident. I genuinely didn't care. Yep. He hyped me so much. Was like, you're still beautiful. You carried my children. Like, he was incredible in that really aspect. Cool. And I mean, he met me before, was with like, it was kind of, I was kind of glad that when we split, I was kind of like, quote unquote, like back hot. I was like, oh, thank God. Like, I probably would have had a bit more insecurities if I was having to navigate that, not feeling good about myself.
100%.
So I was like, oh, good timing. Like, at least I've like come sort of out the other side a little bit. Yeah. But he was good through that phase. So like, that's one thing I will absolutely give him credit for. Like, he was good with that.
So why did you end up splitting?
Splitting? Similar, like, we grew apart. Yeah. So like there was also, I mean, God, there was so many aspects to it, but like a big part is like the lives that we want to live is different. Yeah. So like he hasn't worked since we split. So like he's floating.
He had an issue with his foot.
Yeah, he had the accident with his foot, and like with like a lot of the chronic pain came with a lot of like dependency behaviors, trying to manage that. And he's definitely someone that no one tells him what to do. So like he's wants to do things his way. So like listening and working collaboratively as a team wasn't something that he was good at. And that's something that's really important to me, is I like feeling like a team and making decisions together and feeling supported. And we really lacked that. And we just sort of started growing apart.
Like housemates?
Not even a good housemate. Like even in those things, like I'm meticulous the way that I like things, and like I'm very tidy, and like he's not. And like, so there was a million things that like we would very different with. He's very spontaneous, which was very endearing when we first got together, but his inability to remember anything all the time, like the mental load of having to feel like you're almost their parent. I was like, I don't like that. I don't want to be booking your doctor's appointments. I don't want to be micromanaging you. I need to feel like we're a team together, not this weird hierarchy. Like I didn't like it. So I was like, and then I wasn't sure if because like we had 2 little children, like Chili was only 1 when we split. Yeah. So I was like, have we just gotten so lost in trying to be parents because we don't get that quality time together? Like, have we just disconnected?
That's a big thing.
So I was like, I booked 2 holidays, and I was like, look, I've got these booked where we can really try and prioritize spending some quality time together to see if it's the connection or it's just not right anymore. And he's like, no, good plan. And then 2 days before we're supposed to go on the first holiday, he's like, no, I'm done. Oh. And I was like, bitch. Like, we didn't
go on the holiday.
So I took the kids on it by myself, which was stress on its own. because the first one was like going back and spending Christmas with like my friends and family. And I was like, well, we're not going to inflict that on them on Christmas. Like this is terrible. So I was like, no, I'm going to go. And it was honestly the worst 2 weeks of my life. I just cried the entire time. And it was like trying to keep it together enough until we got in the car and I could just cry while we drove, or I'd hold it in, or I'd cry once the girls went to bed. And I was like, this is terrible.
How to grieve whilst being a mum.
Oh my God, it was the worst. Because normally how I would go through a breakup is like, I would just be like, well, I'm just going to go spend time with friends and go have nights to do things that make me feel good. But I had the kids full time. So I was like, I can't even go off the rails. Like, I've got to keep showing up and I've got to hold it together to a certain degree because I've got little people that depend on me.
And how humbling is that?
It was kind of good because it also did stop me going off the rails. But it was hard.
It's easy to get lost in that trap of like seeking validation when your source runs out. But to mirror you, exactly the same. Like Astrid was 2 at the time. And my ex-husband moved on very, very quickly as well. And so he was moved into this other woman's house very quickly.
So did Tommy.
Brilliant.
Yes. So you did the same thing.
Yep.
Which, I mean, I actually had no issues with. Like, I'd started seeing someone as well, and I actually met her, and she was lovely. And I was like, good. Yeah. Good. I want to like whoever you date because they're going to be around my kids.
Exactly.
So.
Yep. And now my ex-husband's partner, they have a child together. So they got 3 kids together now, including Astrid as the stepdaughter.
Yeah.
So they've got this little family kind of, and then I'm just a single mommy.
Yeah.
So it really sucks because in a way I feel like society puts a lot of shit on dads. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That just happens. I feel like in this situation that I'm the naughty dad. And that my ex-husband and his partner have got this beautiful, they own a house, they've got the 3 girls, they both work, and then there's me chasing my music and neuropsych dream, you know.